Championship. As they come on to the pitch for the first of two games tonight, would you please welcome the two teams from Group A. They are the women's military teams from the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please rise for the playing of the national anthem for the Netherlands, and please remain standing for the national anthem for the Republic of Korea. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Stout Field here at Fort Bliss, Texas, in the 11th edition of the World Military Women's Football Championship. I'm Van Stokes, and we're glad you could join us for today's game. With 9 teams competing for the Women's Military World Cup, we turn back to action with 2 games tonight in Group A. Coming up, it's the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea. Let's go back to our public address. Ladies and gentlemen, with the CISM motto of friendship through sports fully alive here at Fort Bliss, Texas, we wish the best for each of the teams in their challenge to win the 2018 Military World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, this championship is being conducted as a part of the Council International du Sport Militaire, known in English as the International Military Sports Council, and referred to around the world by its acronym, CISM. With 138 member countries, CISM conducts more than 20 military world championships for its member nations each year, all under the motto of friendship through sports. This year marks the 70th anniversary of CISM, which was founded in 1948, with 5 original countries. Today, CISM has grown into the second largest multi-sport organization in the world, second only to the Olympic Games. Again, best of luck to our teams tonight in their pursuit to win the Women's Military World Cup. Well, those are the announcements, and the teams have come onto the field. We have the playing of the national anthem for each of the 2 teams. Our officials for tonight, our referee on the field, that's going to be Giancarlo Pavone from Canada. Jennifer Garner from the United States will be the first assistant. Second assistant will be Meng Xiao Bao from China, and then the 4th official, Leandro de Lima from the country of Brazil. Truly an international competition in every way possible here at Fort Bliss, Texas. The Netherlands out in their orange jerseys. They have black pants and orange socks. Here's the way they line up. For the Netherlands, in the goal once again tonight, that's going to be Petra Dujardin. She'll be joined by Daisy van Wiesenbeek, Anna Bick, Sanne Schoenmaker, Dolly Fort, Danielle Vanderveld, Selena de Kock, Leonie Trump, Annemarie Velt, Jeanette van Bielen, and Nikki Vijk. Those are your starting 11 for the Netherlands. For the Republic of Korea, in the goal, it will be Kwon Joo-young. She will be joined by Ban Do-young, Kwon Ha-nul, Han Al-ryum, Jeong Yeon-ju, Kim Yan-ju, Kim Min-jin, Wang Ji-seong, Moon Seong-mi, Song Se-jin, and Nam Jong-min. So that's the starting 11. One little trip up on that, but you know what? You get better the more you do it. Another hot night here in El Paso, Texas. Roughly 45 minutes ago, it was 100 degrees, and right now it is pushing, temperature-wise, 101 degrees. Not bad for 6:30 in the evening here on Mountain Time, and wherever you are in the world, we are glad that you are with us. Last night, it was Group B action. Brazil got on top of Bahrain and turned up the heat as the game came to an end and won 9-0. So that's the way it went last night in Group B action. You look at Group A action, and what you see is Korea and China each tied at the top of the standings with 2 wins apiece. Now, Canada and Netherlands, they're each going to be searching for their first win in this tournament. Netherlands tied Canada in their first outing, were beat by China in their second outing. Now let's see what they can do against the Republic of Korea. And this match is underway. And a lot of chatter. In spite of the fact that we are in the press box with windows down, you can hear the talk on the field. So the communication, it's loud and clear. Korea, much like the other Asian representative, China, plays the whole field from sideline to sideline. And you've got Dujardin, the goalkeeper for the Netherlands, with an early touch. Look for control soccer early on, nobody taking any great risk, but like a lot of other sports, you want to see what your opponent has to offer, plus you want to get the touch and the feel of the ball and how it goes. That doesn't mean either team couldn't or wouldn't score in the opening minutes, but not necessarily that's the case. So here comes Korea on the far side. Lead pass down front to Kwon Ha-nul. And it goes out on the far side. Kwon Ha-nul is the leader of this team for Korea. She's got a goal to her credit already. And long pass down low. And goes out of bounds. Far corner. Korea is coached by Lee Mi-yeon. This is his 9th women's championship. And down in the direction of the goal, controlled nicely by Kwon Joo-young. This is a team that has been near the top of the standings in each of the years that they have played. We'll give you the details on that. Down deep, down quick. Kwon Ha-nul on the right side. She'll look to center it. Kwon will center it, tries to, but it hits the side of the net and goes beyond the goal line. As I welcome to the broadcast, my partner in crime throughout the course of this tournament, Chief of Delegation for the United States and the Secretariat of the U.S. Armed Forces, Mr. Steve Denote. And Steve, Again, 7th day of this competition. That's hard to believe. 1 week on the pitch, it's gone well and it's gone fast.
And we're hoping to see some action tonight. Netherlands have not jumped on the board yet. Korea played it safe their last match, but it's going to be interesting to see these two teams. Korea's they're looking to maintain that lead right now. They've beat both the United States. They beat Canada. So they're going to keep trying to continue their momentum.
Korea beat the United States 1-0. That was on opening day, Friday the 22nd of the month. And then in their second game, 2 days later on Sunday, they beat Canada 3-0. So they've got 4 goals that they have scored in this tournament and have not allowed their opponents to score a goal yet.
And same thing with China. They've beaten the United States 3-0. And then they played it safe last night, or 2 nights ago, where they only won 1-0. So they both have 4 points allowed, 0 points against, and they're both carrying 6 points into this match. So we're going to see both teams tonight.
Yeah, we will.
And we're going to see what kind of, if any of them can get an advantage. And then they play each other on the 30th.
They play each other on the 30th in a showdown of countries from Asia. But right now, Korea is going to have to deal with the Netherlands. They play a very controlled European-style soccer. They will keep the ball away from Korea as best they can. It's interesting to see. I think that the Netherlands might have the edge in terms of size, maybe strength. But in terms of finesse, I might have to lean towards Korea on this.
I agree. Korea's been playing together for a number of years. While you have a lot of veterans on the Netherlands team, some of them have played every installment of the Women's Championship. Korea has a lot of youth, and they have a lot of experience with each other, and I think that's going to be your main factor.
You go back and look through the years with Korea, and Korea has participated in this tournament 7 times. And there's a push in the center of the field that will go in the direction of Korea. In fact, the last time Korea participated in this tournament, that was back in 2016. They got the bronze medal, Steve. France beat Brazil for the gold medal, and then Korea picked up the bronze medal. So it shows you the caliber of play that this team brings to the table. But China was not in that competition.
Nope, this is China's first competition. They are the rookies out there along with Bahrain. China has been preparing for almost 3 years for this competition as they get ready to host the Military World Games next year. So no one really knew what to expect from China. China has been one of the top teams of the tournament now. So again, it's that time together, that experience with one another, and that's been your main factor.
Here comes Korea down the right side. Kwan Ha-Nul will chase it down, but it will go out. And it will come back in favor of the Netherlands. We told you about Korea in previous years. Well, the Netherlands, this is their 11th World Military Women's Football Championship.
One of the founding members of the Women's Championship.
That was back in 2004.
Oh, earlier than that, man.
Well, excuse me, 2001, I meant to say. Netherlands, Germany, Great Britain, and Canada were the 4 teams in that. And it had to set itself up as a demonstration sport.
Germany.
Back in 2001. I'm sorry.
Oh, demonstration,
Netherlands,
that's
Germany,
right.
Great Britain, and Canada. It was a demonstration
That's right,
sport in
that's
2001. And then it earned official system status in 2002. And oh, by the way, that was the year the United States won, and the only year, the last time that the United States won.
And the reason why it was a demonstration sport then, you only had 3 nations that were member nations. Great Britain, they have yet to join CISM. So if you're out there listening over in Europe, let's get the UK on board.
138 countries, and the UK is not one of them.
Nope. Let's get them on board.
The last 2 countries, 137th and 138th.
Nepal and Tajikistan.
Wow.
We had a great ceremony for them. We were able to invite them in front of the entire General Assembly, have their flags waved as they were officially elected by the General Assembly. You need 75% of the vote from the General Assembly to bring them on board, and they received I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but guess what? They're members. I'm pretty sure it was near unanimous.
And they are
not.
pleased to be members.
So now it's the difference between being a member of CISM and then actually being an active member. So being an active member, you got to continue not just to pay your dues and be there, but you got to be participating in these events. And that's why having China and Bahrain, who are member nations and are very active within CISM, but now that they're here within women's soccer, that's only going to continue to grow this sport.
Talk about the different sports that CISM offers as Bantu Young gets set to take this free kick right here. She'll boot it with her right foot, sends it out towards the center, but the Netherlands will head it away. What are the different sports that CISM offers? We said there's 20 every year, but military sports, Olympic-type sports, what are some of those sports?
So to go on the CISM branded sports, you got 3 CISM brand sports that are very unique, unlike any other sport around the world. You have military pentathlon, naval pentathlon, and aeronautical pentathlon. And really to best describe those pentathlons, you got to go to the CISM CISM website. It's Milsport1, MILSPORT.1, ONE. So go there, and you can learn about all the sports there. However, with the pentathlons are very unique in terms of they are focused primarily on military training, military activities. So you have shooting events, you have...
Nice job by Dujardin, who comes over to take that shot that was drifting left and does a nice job on the save. But continue, please.
And you have throwing obstacles, like if you were throwing a grenade. You have cross-country, you have swimming events. And when they combine those, they, just a great atmosphere. Now, even though you have aeronautical pentathlon, they actually have 7 events within there. I don't know why they call it a pentathlon.
But no horses. Any horses in the aeronautical pentathlon? I don't think so. Now, in the military,
it scares the horses. No.
Okay, got it. No. In the pentathlon, as an international sport, aside from the military, that's a little bit different.
Yeah. And we do have modern pentathlon, as we talk about horses. So we do have the modern pentathlon, which is an Olympic sport. We also have equestrian, where they do a combination where similar jumping skills. They'll also do endurance races where you have the them going quite a bit. I think the very first one, there was only one team that actually finished, if I'm not mistaken. But
it's supposed to be rugged. I mean, this is a military type Olympics.
Yeah. So your military-based sports, you have orienteering, parachuting. Like I said, the 3 branded pentathlons, fencing, and modern pentathlon. Then you have your combat-related sports. Those are your taekwondo, boxing, wrestling, judo. Then you have your team sports, volleyball, soccer or football, basketball, and now and then your individual sports, your running sports, your triathlons, your cross-country, marathon, track and field, swimming. And one thing we have done is we have actually incorporated parasport within CISM. And these are your wounded warriors, your active duty wounded warriors for track and field and swimming and archery. We were able to get them on board. We had a couple pilot events. First one in 2013 in Warendorf, Germany. And the German delegation was extremely creative and innovative with how they did that, where we got the para-athletes on the same track as the able-bodied, not the same race, but you would have a progression where you have your able-bodied athletes run, and then your para-athletes came in right after in their respective disability category. And they were able to march out on the opening ceremony together, brothers and sisters in arms.
Direct kick right now by Korea. Going to go off to the right side, and they're going to see if they can get it, and it's going to be cleared nicely by the Netherlands. So go ahead with the para-athlete information.
So after that successful 2013 event, we called it an integrated championship, 170 total athletes from about 80 nations, I think, total. And overall we had probably about 30 para-athletes during that one, if I got my numbers correct. But it was a great enough event that the French delegation turned around and did the same thing for swimming. And after that, we were able to introduce in the military world games for the very first time para-athletes in archery and track and field during that event. Now, archery has become an official CISM event just recently. They are now at Category 1 status, along with climbing. Those are our 2 new sports in CISM.
Now, how many sports or events does the United States normally participate in? You cannot expect every country in the world to participate in every sport. And
That's right.
Hence, you talk about the dues-paying members and then the active members, and those are the ones who do
That's
participate. Right. Now, soccer is a worldwide game, but many of the sporting events in which you have just mentioned don't have that widespread popularity or that depth of personnel within their programs which to come forth in that. How many does the United States participate in?
Yeah, the United States, we're looking roughly around 20 sports we would participate in overall. There's some sports we just simply don't have either the interest of the athletes, the quality of the competitors, and availability in some cases. So, I mean, there's times where we want to participate in sports like swimming and life savings, but unfortunately you might only get a few applications, because the standard's got to be high enough because it is a world championship.
Here comes Jeanette van Biel, and she gets things turned around in favor of the Netherlands. It's going to head down in the direction of Kwan Ju-young, and she will get it back out. But now all of the sports in which we're discussing, and we'll talk about the military world games in a little while, but they're all the pageantry, all the rituals of an Olympic-type event. We're talking the raising of the flags. We're talking about the opening ceremonies with the march in. We're talking about the raising of the CISM flag. And then, of course, so many times the raising of the flag of the country that wins the gold medals, the silver medals, and the bronze. So very much like the Olympic Games. In fact, that is a replica in spirit and in practice.
The only difference is this is military. They're marching out in their military uniforms, and that's what makes CISM brand unique among the Olympics and the other international organizations.
That in the size with 138 member nations. So here comes Korea. They're going to have a corner kick from the far corner. They've already got 3 shots on goal, and Dujardin already has 3 saves in this contest, and we are only in the 15th minute. Corner across the center. High kick by the Netherlands, and out they come. Korea quickly turn it around. Shot deep, deep, deep from the field, and Dujardin is there. Petro Dujardin.
Practically kicked that from the parking lot.
You got to admire the power that they have.
Korea's not afraid to launch it.
They are not. And you know another team that's not afraid to launch it? Brazil. We've seen them twice, and they will launch it from anywhere on the field. Well, among the teams, or among the sports, I should say, that the United States is highly competitive or perhaps even very successful, what might they be, Steve?
To be honest with you, it really depends on the year. Mostly our women sports are the ones that are bringing in most of the medals right now. That seems to be the trend, and that's why we are hosting the 3rd consecutive women's championship in a row. We hosted the Women's Basketball Championship in 2016. Last year at Naval Station Mayport, women's volleyball. Now we're hosting women's football. And our women warrior athletes have been our most competitive among the sports, bringing in the hardware.
Which is great to see. It's great to see.
So that's why we've been honoring them by hosting these championships, giving them more opportunities to get out there and experience these international competitions.
Well, I know that the United States team, the women on that team, truly, truly enjoy having this level of international competition that their family and their friends can stay up with and come down and even watch here at Fort Bliss, Texas. I mean, hosted by the United States, and a nice job of hosting. We'll talk about that later on as well by the fine folks here at Fort Bliss, Texas. Here comes Korea, the header down. It goes high. Nice lead pass that time. Very well done by Bon Du-young. She left it high. The header was there, but it sailed up over the crossbar.
That's right.
So what is on the horizon? What CISM sport is on the horizon, either for the United States to host or for the United States to participate in?
Right now I believe I want to say golf. I'm going to check into that. I know for the United States we're going to be participating in CISM golf, hosted by the German delegation in Vorendorf. The German delegation always does a great job in hosting. Vorendorf is part of their German sports school, the Bundesliga. Bundeswehr.
Bundessportschule.
I was looking at the ESPN earlier, looking at Bundesliga. But yeah, the Bundeswehr, they have a great school where they bring in their master trainers, and sport is a very integrated part in their military training.
They have a very simple philosophy that is sport for all throughout Germany, and then sport for all with the opportunity for each to rise to their highest level possible. And that's the way they go about it in Germany.
Yeah. And you see a very similar structure in France as well in Fontainebleau.
That is the training center for the French military in Fontainebleau.
So much so that both nations have a street named after each respective school. So in Warendorf you have Fontainebleau Strasse, and then in Fontainebleau you actually have Warendorf.
Is that right?
Yeah, they Rue Warendorf. So they really do collaborate a lot over there. So looks like they just finished up sailing in Helsinki, Finland. Triathlon in Lidköping, Sweden. Next on the horizon is road cycling in the Netherlands from 28 July to 3 August. Hungary is going to host parachuting 10 to 21 August. Russia will host swimming in mid-August. And like I mentioned, Germany is going to be hosting golf in Münster, or near Warendorf. And that's 25 August to 2 September. And that's the next one the United States will actually be participating in.
That one in golf. It's an unbelievable organization, and I had some time to spend earlier today with Brigadier General Martin Ongoi from Kenya, who is the CISM representative here, representing, of course, the headquarters of CISM. And it's just fascinating to be able to sit down and talk to some of these people who are coming in from different countries to take part in this Women's Military World Cup. Fascinating. It's an enriching experience, to put it very, very simply.
And this is a very busy year for CISM. Overall, you have 23 total world championships being conducted this year. And that's a very impressive number.
While we have been talking, Korea has been methodically working the ball down the field. They have not been able to get the shot that they wanted. The Netherlands defense has stepped up very well. They haven't had the opportunities for shots on goal like Korea has, but you've got to believe that Korea, if they keep working this ball, more opportunities are going to come. Down the left side, Han Ariom. She'll center it. It'll come across the center and glance off one of the Netherlands.
On one hand, last night you saw Brazil size Bahrain up very similarly, where they waited, and then they unleashed and attacked. However, Netherlands has a very strong defense. We saw that in the first two games. And their defense is very disciplined. They move very unison down the line.
And we could see that from Korea later on in this contest. But as I indicated early on, Steve, they like to kind of see what each other has. Comes across the center. Nice corner kick, but nice job of clearing it out, and particularly that time by Selena de Kock from the Netherlands. Also in was Annemagin Velt.
Yep. Korea had an opportunity there.
6 shots on goal by Korea thus far, 5 saves by Dujardin.
Got another corner kick.
They're very accurate on the corner kicks. Cross it goes. And out to the other side. A little bit too far. Wind blowing from west to east. It's blowing straight in. So the team that is headed into the west will normally have the sun to contend with, but now they're going to have to contend with the wind that's blowing directly in their face.
Yeah, and we're getting from the south to north a little bit. Depends on where you're at down on the field. And that's the uniqueness about El Paso here at Fort Bliss. You have last night we had winds going from east to west. Now it's going west to east. You never know what to expect.
It's really a great area. I really like this area. Got out today, went to UTEP. Spent a little time over at the University of
Home of the Miners.
Texas in El Paso.
Great storied basketball program.
Very much of a storied basketball program in many, many respects.
Yep. We got some people watching from all over. We got some from Atlanta, parents of Ariel Salton, one of our U.S. players. She's saying thanks for the broadcast. Shout out to you. And also, if you're watching front, we got several coming in from Korea. It's 9:50 a.m. in Seoul.
Annyeonghaseyo. Glad you're there.
And in Paris, or Netherlands, you're looking at 2:50 a.m. So we got some people that are probably still sleeping. So they'll probably rewatch this broadcast later on. You can rewatch these broadcasts on Facebook as well as our YouTube channel. If you want all the links, just go to armedforcesports.com.
Play tightening up in the midfield just a little bit. Chasing it down goes Moon Seong-mi. And she'll work it out to the right side of Korea. 23 minutes into this game. Quickly down. Oh, what a nice job saving it in the very, very far corner by Han Aryum. It's hot, but that doesn't concern them. That was a nice run going down the far right side. The heat doesn't mean anything. They're going after it all the way. You like that. You like that play. You like that style. We're scoreless. 0-0. 24th minute here between the Republic of Korea and the Netherlands. And within a couple of minutes, we will be looking at a water break, again in accordance with FIFA rules, with extreme heat above 32 degrees Celsius. Officials can take a 1-minute timeout and send the teams to the side for water. The name of the game is to stay hydrated. Of course, it's safety first, it's fairness, it's respect, and it's friendship through sports. All of those. Down on the field that time goes Nam Jong-min. But she pops up quickly.
Yep, that mandatory FIFA water break is not just great for the athletes, but it also eased the stress level of our medical director.
And of course, he's thinking, Steve, about heat-related injuries, whether it's cramps, whether it's heat exhaustion, and then, of course, I hate to use those words, but the heat stroke and all those other kinds of things that come with the high temperatures like this.
And we only experienced a few issues during the very first day or two before the matches actually started. We haven't had any issues on the field, which is great.
No, all the precautions have been taken,
Yep.
and that's a good thing.
Yep.
Hats off to them.
Yep. The team here at Bliss, if you look down on the sidelines, they got huge misting fans, making sure they got plenty of ice and water down there in the coolers. The team here has been great in ensuring that everybody's been taken care of and hydrated.
Chief of Recreation with DFMWR, the Director of Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, told me the amount of water that they have gone through in the barracks. And he wasn't talking cases, he was talking the number of pallets that they've gone through. Unbelievable, but that's the way it should be.
Yes.
Hydration, hydration, and hydration. Korea, unable to get through the last line of defense by the Netherlands. The Netherlands plays 4 back, and then will shift the midfielders back and strengthen their defense. They did that against Canada, and Canada could not score a point. They had a tougher time against China. And who knows, it could be a matter of time before Korea happens to penetrate this defense. We will see. Down on the right side goes Jeong Yeon-ju. Over there also is Kim Young-ju.
The Netherlands have only allowed 1 goal so far this tournament. They had that 1-0 tie with Canada, and China beat them only 1-0. Again, it's that disciplined defense.
And Korea allowed no goals in this tournament so far.
That's correct. So I see a lot of the action being played either between the 20s, as we affectionately described with our flag football field here, or if it's down in Netherlands zone, you know the Dutch are going to have a tight defense and disciplined defense like we keep talking about.
Shot down there that time off the foot of Nikki Vike. Not enough power because Kwon Ju-young comes out and gets it. And I didn't see the support come down the field from the Netherlands. In other words, I didn't see that strike force arrive. I saw Nikki Vike down there, but not that much support.
That's the only problem when you have more on defense and in the midfield. You don't have the opportunities for the breakaways. Well, we got Rita from Florida. Rita's the sports coordinator there at Naval Station Mayport. How you doing, Rita? See you chiming in on Facebook. She was the project officer for last year's women's volleyball championship.
Here comes Korea, left side. Shot opportunity goes up high. That was off the left foot that time of Bon Du-young.
We have several fans sending off the South Korean flag, Republic of Korea.
And there's our water break, Steve.
There we go.
Teams will head to the sideline on a water break right now. 1 minute. They'll have time to take as much water as they possibly can. You know, I talked earlier about, well, meeting today with Brigadier General Martin Ongoi from Kenya, the official CISM representative. Well, he had remarks at the opening ceremonies. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Your success will be measured not by how many goals you score, not by how many games you win, but the number of friends that you are going to make and the perpetuality of those friendships. So please, you need to note that very, very carefully. That is the motto of CISM.
That is Brigadier General Martin Ongoi from Kenya, the official CISM representative here at the Military World Cup. We want to remind you that CISM Sports promotes goodwill and a positive image by encouraging physical fitness through highly competitive sports competition. And you can look for coverage of the Armed Forces sports and CISM events like women's soccer on your favorite social media platform. You can use the hashtag Armed Forces Sports, the hashtag Armed Forces Soccer, or the hashtag CISM USA. And for links to all kinds of Armed Forces sports coverage, visit armedforcesports.com. And oh, by the way, when this contest is over, we're not done for tonight. Coming up later, it's Group A action with China versus Canada. That kickoff is scheduled for 9 o'clock Mountain Time here in El Paso, Texas. That's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. And coming up tomorrow, the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship continues with Group B action with Bahrain meeting Germany. Bahrain has had a couple of days to, well, I want to say recover, regroup a little bit. So here we are in the second portion of this first half. Clock reads the 30th minute, but there will be some stoppage time as a result of the water break. But here comes Netherlands, challenging Korea on their half of the field for only one of the few times tonight. Long forward pass, headed out of the way. We had one player go down, continue to play on in the center. And a light shot down towards the goal that Guan Zhu-young is there. But down on the field, looks like Sanne Schoenmaker. Now, here's the interesting thing about Sanne Schoenmaker from the Netherlands, Steve. They have a medical problem. It's not a problem. She's a doctor. She can handle that. So they come from all different military walks, military occupation specialties, from just a full range of everything. Everything from fighter pilots to doctors to logisticians to public affairs officers. Korea, far right side, two players go down. Look like Han Arium on the other side. She gets back up. With the race to the ball, she went down hard, but she popped up nicely. So the free kick right now by Korea. Far side. They'll take the time to get it set. Giancarlo Pavon from Canada, our referee on the field, has everybody set. There's movement. And the kick to the inside, low and hard. and it goes beyond the goal line. Dujardin was in perfect position to make a stop, but it's going to go back to the corner. And they will try it again. This one's a little higher. No head type opportunities, but knocked aside nicely by Leonie Trump. Number 17 for the Netherlands. So you get 3 corner kicks for a quarter. I think that's the way they say. 1 for a nickel, 2 for a dime, and 3 corner kicks for a quarter. We'll set it back up again. Nice corner kick in towards the center. Netherlands defense just a little bit too tough. They turn it back around, but here comes Korea again. Netherlands, everybody back. They are playing a defensive game, is the Netherlands. Down the right side, Nikki Wijk. Wijk gets by 1, gets by 2. Oh, almost, not quite. And nice effort by Korea. Nice effort by Nikki Wijk, as a matter of fact. And there's a yellow card. Did not see who that yellow card went out against, but you saw the Korean player go down to the field on the trip. And that was Nam Jong-min who went down. Yellow card on number 8. That's going to be on Sanne Schumacher. So Schumacher went down. Basically, well, was tripped. She went down hard, but she got back up. Apparently got back up a little bit frustrated and gets called with the yellow card. That's her first yellow card. The officiating has been very, very solid in this competition. There have been 12 yellow cards. Schumacher was 13th yellow card in this tournament. We've had a couple of red cards, one against France's Solina Barbance. She was suspended for the next 2 games of France, which means literally they only have 2 games left, potentially. Another group game and a medal match, possibly. And then the other card came out last night, the red card against Mubarak. She's suspended for the next match for Bahrain, Mubarak. And just a quick reminder, these yellow cards are aggregate in nature. But then when you get into the medal matches, they all are gone. Everybody starts even on the medal matches. .36 minute, left side. Bon Du-young. Long leading pass, nobody there. I think she was looking for Song Se-jin, number 29, but Se-jin was not there. Song was not there. And Petra Dujardin will distribute out to the left side for the Netherlands. Off the Korean player, far side. Netherlands will maintain control. Our 4th official assisting over there will get the ball. The 4th official's job is really administrative in nature. He collects the starting lineups, takes care of substitutions, and helps call attention to the things administratively that, well, when you're officiating the game on the field as the first referee, the second referee, or the referee on the field, the first assistant or the second assistant, that you can't stay up with. Korea right now with 10 shots on goal, 7 saves for Petra Dujardin in the goal for the Netherlands right now. So Korea's been knocking on the door. The score remains 0-0, but Korea will continue to knock. They'll set it up in their own half of the field. Bon Du-young back to the center, over to Moon Seong-mi. All the way to the right side, that's Kim Yeon-ju. She'll move it forward. Nam Jong-min on the far right side. Cross pass to the center, and Dujardin comes out to make the catch. Good idea, though. Kwan Ha Newell was down the center of the field, and she can strike. Kwan Ha Newell played on the national team. At the age of 16, she had over 100 games with the national team. They call it the Century Club. And also down on the side right now, Han Aryum. She's down on the field, not far from the Korean bench. But as I'm talking about Kwan Ha Newell, she was on the national team 14 years, belongs to the Century Club. She's a great transition player. And when you talk about experience on the field, you have to talk about Kwan Ha Newell when you talk about Korea. See if we can't get a number for you down on the field on the far side. And I can't tell, I don't think that is a cramp. Now, interestingly enough, Steve, we had two of the Korean players carried off on stretchers in the previous contest.
Yep, that match against Canada, we saw quite a few. Two for sure were on stretchers. A few of the others went down for quite a bit. We had a rather long time of stoppage that particular game.
We did. That is Yong Yeon Ju. That's going to step onto the sideline and try to shake out that tenderness in that leg that she might have. As she pulls it back, I tend to think it's a quadricep up front, the way she pulls it back. But she's good to go. She steps back onto the pitch. And it's 11 on 11 now. Netherlands. Long pass down the field and kicking it away for Korea is Wang Ji-seong. Netherlands looking for that opportunity. Korea with three defenders back. Cornerback on the right side will play up or play back, depending on the situation. Ban Du-young left side. Gets it ahead to Song Sejin. Sejin will cross it. It just gets by Kwan Ha Newell. Netherlands will try to take over. Danielle Vanderveld in the center for the Netherlands. Dolly Fort calling for the ball. Kicking it back, Leonie Trump. And nice effort that time by Kim Yeon-ju. We have just entered the 41st minute of play in this game. And it's still 0-0. Hands all over the player by Anna Bick. So foul on the play, so Korea will maintain it and try to move it straight down the field.
Quite a few cheers down there if you look. We got large South Korean contingent down there rooting for the South Korean ladies. They met them at the airport in large numbers.
And here comes another yellow card. Another yellow card for the trip. This one's going to go against Dolly Fort. I told you Dolly Fort was calling for it in the center of the field. She's anxious. She wants to get in a little bit too anxious. She got caught on the trip. So second yellow card of the evening goes to the teammate of Sana Schirnmacher. And that's going to go to Dolly Fort, number 10. So direct kick by Moon Seong-mi. Left side, Ban Du-young. She'll center towards the goal, and Dujardin is there. Dujardin has been busy tonight, but in a good sort of way.
She hasn't allowed anything gone by her, and the Dutch defense are good at clearing out.
And you're right, those Korean flags waving nicely. We talked about Petra Dujardin and the way she's been playing in the goal. Steve, this is her 11th CISM championship. She has played in every women's military World Cup, and that is quite a distinction.
That's just amazing. Watching from 4 teams to now 9, and this is the largest CISM women's championship for football. We're supposed to have 10. Unfortunately, Cameroon, due to logistic issues, were not able to make it at the last minute. But they're here in spirit. But still, we've only had 2 other championships with 8 teams, so this is the largest. We know there's others out there, and we hope this sport continues to grow on the same level with the men.
Now, here's the probability. The probability is that it will grow because there's 16 or 17 countries with women's football teams. And when you look at the military world games upcoming next year in China, you've got to believe as these countries come, they're going to turn to their women's military teams and they're going to say, we want to participate in this sport. So I look for this to grow within CISM.
And next year in China at the military world games, they are capping that championship for only 8 women teams.
Okay.
Just due to the size, China's hosting 28 different sports, so you do have to limit the numbers.
And we talked the other day, those are the numbers that we're talking about. Up to 7,500 military athletes coming into China for the military world games. And so, yeah, you have to put a cap on it. And, you know, we see that in the Olympics a lot. You know, you've got to cap the Olympics. I mean, there's a lot of sports, and particularly in weight classes in individual sports, they reduce the weight classes in individual sports just so that they can keep control of the total number of athletes that will be coming into the games.
A single championship's not exactly cheap. Now you have now you want to host a number of different teams and countries, and they can get a little pricey.
It can.
So keep those numbers down a little bit.
Look at the defense right now from the Netherlands. It's back, and it's back strong, and a big shot will drift off to the left side. That'll be the 13th shot by Korea tonight. We are into stoppage time here in the first half of this contest. 45 minutes of regulation on the clock has gone by, and so now there's some additional time added as a result of injuries, as a result of the water break. We've started a watch up here, so we'll kind of keep track of this if we can. Dujardin will get it out.
Yeah, it looks like they have 2 additional minutes for stoppage.
2 minutes. And Korea would love to post a goal before we get into the half. There it is, straight ahead. Dujardin comes out. It's off her leg and rolls into the goal. And it is they're not calling it. They haven't called it. They have not called it. We're not going to call it here.
Let's adjust the scoreboard until we get confirmation.
Watching the official on this, he did not call it. So it will be a free kick.
Handball.
Handball.
So the whistle was blown before the ball went in. That's why you're seeing no goal. We got a little ambitious and put number 1 on Korea, so we did pull that back down.
I am reluctant to say anything up here until I see the officials signaling it, and that was not the case there. So it's going to be a free kick by Korea. Kim Min-jin, one of the players near the ball. We see her number clearly, but not sure who's on the other side. They jostle for position. The kick, it's up high, and it's going to go over to the left side, above and beyond the goal. So that is going to do it for the end of this first half between Korea and the Netherlands. A lot of defense on the part of the Netherlands. A lot of opportunities and shots on the part of Korea. 12 shots on goal. 9 saves for Petra Dujardin. Korea just unable to cash in, Steve. But again, credit the defense, if you will, from the Netherlands.
Yeah, again, we talked about that tough, disciplined Dutch defense. A lot of veterans on there, and we're seeing it. That's why the score is 0-0 at halftime.
Well, remember, we're not done for tonight. Coming up later in Group A action, we're going to continue with China versus Canada. That kickoff is scheduled for 9 p.m. Mountain Time tonight here in El Paso, Texas. And coming up tomorrow, the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship coverage resumes with Group B action when Bahrain will meet Germany. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, 7 p.m. on the West Coast in the United States. Remember, check into the Armed Forces Sports social media channels like Facebook and Twitter for the latest live stream listings. And as always, visit armedforcesports.com for the latest match schedules. Also, we remind you, we've got the photo gallery that you can link onto from armedforcesports.com, and you can also check into the photo gallery on Facebook. Simply go to Facebook, CISM Europe. So we're at the half. 0-0 is the score. We're going to take a break here, get hydrated if we can. We're going to step aside, and we come back in about 12 minutes. We'll be ready for the start of the second half in the first match tonight between the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea. We'll be back right after this break.
As a nation and as a military, we are proud to continue the valuable traditions promoting peace and friendship through sport. It's quite interesting and worth noting that General John Pershing, no stranger to Fort Bliss, as he served here earlier before he went to World War I, would be the force behind attempts to break down cultural and political barriers and promote friendship and morale among servicewomen through sport as far back as 1919. It was his foresight and vision, recognizing the value of sport, that eventually led to the establishment of the CISM. And now, nearly a century later, we still strive for peace and harmony among the nations and recognize the value of the International Military Sports Council and moving nations closer to that lofty goal. So let us continue this tradition of friendly competition, sportsmanship, and camaraderie. May the friendships that will last a lifetime be established over the next 2 weeks, and may the best team win.
Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention. Flying over the parade field is an AH-64 Apache from Fort Bliss's own 1st Armored Division Combat Aviation Brigade. The Apache is piloted by Chief Warrant Officer Chief Croft and Chief Warrant Officer Chief Fraser. They are demonstrating dynamic teamwork.
Enjoy your stay here at Fort Bliss, and with that wonderful flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention. Flying over the parade field is an AH-64 Apache from Fort Bliss's own 1st Armored Division Combat Aviation Brigade. The Apache is piloted by Chief Warrant Officer Chief Croft.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Stout Field here at Fort Bliss, Texas. We have had the pause for the cause. That's the hydration break at half. So a halftime between the Netherlands and the Republic of South Korea with a score of 0-0. We're ready to get underway here in the second half. And there's the kickoff. Goes directly over to Daisy van Wiesenbeek. Korea very much on the attack, down the side, and a race to the ball. It's going to be booted out to the right side. Headed after was Kim Min-jin from Korea. And nice job on the field that time by the Netherlands defender as well. Jeong Yeonju will get it back in, number 17, over to the center. Big lead pass, but again, the Netherlands defense steps up, and there's a handball. That was a handball that time off of Anna Bick, and she knew that. As soon as she stuck the arm down, the ball simply inadvertently bounced off. Inadvertently or on purpose, nonetheless. It's the handball. So up steps Kwan Han-nul, and she's alongside Wang Jixiong. And Petra Dujardin in the goal. Korea with an opportunity. See if they can find the opening. The shot, the block by Dujardin. She will jump on it. What a save by Petra Dujardin, and what a beautiful kick by Wang Jisun. Man. She pounced on it with her left foot, and they go down in a pile in front of the goal. And out comes the trainers. Dujardin is down. And there is another player from the Netherlands also in the goal box. See if we can't get the number on the player who's down in the goal box. We can see Dujardin, of course, by the color of her uniform. And that was just a great shot opportunity by Wang Jisun. And Dujardin still down. Want to remind you that we're looking forward to tomorrow. The 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship coverage resumes with Group B action. That's tomorrow when Bahrain meets Germany. 10 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, of course, 7 o'clock on the West Coast in the United States. Remember, check into Armed Forces Sports social media channels like Facebook and Twitter for the latest live stream listings. And as always, visit armedforcesports.com for the latest match results. So Dujardin is up. And also getting up is Anna Bick. Bick moving slower than Dujardin. But she will stay on the pitch. So Korea just continues to knock on the door, and the Netherlands just completely continue to shut that door. So good to see the players back up on their feet. Nobody seriously injured on that situation. Bick is going to go off to the side. And she'll come back in very quickly. There she is. Back onto the pitch. And down the left side comes another one. There's the reach around by Korea. And the foul on the play. Down on the pitch goes Selena de Kock. And you could see the reach around by the Korean player. Helping de Kock plead her case is Anna Majin Velt, number 19. Also coming over to make a case is Leonie Trump. So that is Selena DeCock who gets back up. And she's ready to go. No card on the play. The Netherlands has a couple of yellow cards in this game. And Korea, none. Kick leads to the goal. Korea gets it out quickly, does a nice job in clearing. In to challenge that time is Nikki Vike. And down to the ground goes Song Se-jin. And Steve, to note, this game kind of picks up where it left off in the first half. It picks up again so in the second half with Korea trying to get down and knock on the door, but the Netherlands said, you're not getting in.
Not tonight. That's what they keep saying, not tonight.
Not tonight. Well, a lot of soccer left to be played. 50th minute in this game. And, of course, we're slated for 90-plus stoppage time. Down on the left side, Bon Dujon. And the wind is picked up. It's blowing
you can
briskly.
hear it. I'm going to lower it there because it's right in the audio recorder. Blowing from east to west. Earlier it was west to east, so it can't make up its mind.
You see the corner flags whipping briskly in the breeze.
The other night we had gust up to 35 kilometers per hour.
And a dust storm moving through the area.
Yep, that was last night. Or 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. Last night we had that very interesting formation in the sky. We couldn't figure out what it was. It was rain, dust, but it had a beautiful pink hue. And that's what we get in these desert skies.
I called it purple haze.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden, you know, our executive producer broke out his air guitar, and next thing you know, purple haze was no longer just a description of the sky.
I'm just glad he didn't light anything on fire in here.
Out in the center of the field, Nam Jongmin. She could not get it back, so Netherlands will control. They're going to try to set things up back there. It's going to go back to Dujardin. Out of the goal area, and she'll boot it up with her left foot. Back up the sideline. Nice leading long shot by Dujardin, and tracking it down is Kim Yeonju. Gwonju Young, the goalkeeper, will move it back out to Korea's left side. Here comes Korea again. The shot in from the far left side, and Dujardin is there. She's got a powerful leg as she kicks it up well beyond midfield. Nice kick by Sana Schoenmaker. But taking over is Bon Dujon. And back and forth it goes. Nikki Vike sends it back. Korea steps in. 16 shots on goal by Korea with 11 saves by Dujardin. Yellow cards given out to Schoenmaker in the 34th minute, and then also to Fort for the Netherlands. That came in the 41st minute. Throw in on the far side. That's going to come off the hands of Bon Dujon. Gets it into Kwan Ha-nul, who plays the middle and plays all over this field, in all honesty. Netherlands down on Korea's side more this half. Well, they haven't had the great shot opportunities, perhaps, but nonetheless, they've mounted a better offensive attack. The Netherlands, known for their defensive prowess. And their ability to control the soccer ball. Far left side in the race to the ball, Kim Yeonju. Goes over the goal line, so Kwon Ju-young will bring it out. And we got a sunset taking place back beyond the Franklin Mountains here in the scenic area of El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, once that sun goes down, you're going to see a sharp decrease in temperature.
Yeah, in other words, it's going to go down from 103 to 97 is what you're saying.
Exactly. That's a sharp decrease.
That's a sharp decrease. It's all relative, my friends. It's all relative. Dujardin distributes out to the right side, all the way over to Anna Bick. Anna Bick tries to send it down, but Korea's there. Can they capitalize? Let's see. Here come the Koreans. They've got the numbers. Over to the right side. Shot opportunity. The dribble, the kick, and she lost it. Nice defensive effort. Han Aryum could not get the job done. Held on perhaps a little too long, but she did not get the shot away. Kim Yeon-ju now is going to try to set things towards the center again. Nice effort by Nikki Vike, but she missed it. So Korea maintains possession towards the center. Shot towards goal, and Dujardin is there. We've got a CH-47 in the skyline. The Chinook. Ever mindful that, yes, we are here at one of the premier installations in the United States Army, Fort Bliss, Texas. It's the nation's air defense headquarters and is referred to by many as the second largest military installation in the United States Army. They've got a population of 164,000 people. Of course, that includes family members, retirees who are still part of this military community, and plays a very, very important role in the strategic picture of the United States Army and the United States Department of Defense. Home of the 1st Armored Division.
That's right. Came in from Europe. Base swelled 3 times the size.
And a lot of infrastructure and modifications around here. We've got a substitution for the Netherlands. Going out of the contest will be Jeanette van Beeling. And coming in, that's going to be number 3. For the Netherlands, Rivka Dlaya. First time we have called her name. And here comes Korea again. They're going to come down the right side again. And they're going to see if they can't set things up. Stumbling along the way, giving the Netherlands a chance to set up the defense. The good leading pass, potential's there, and Dujardin will track it down. Let's go back to that Facebook comment that we just saw a second ago.
Yep, here we go. Trying. Computers sometimes don't always want to play nice.
Wanted to stay up with the action on the field, but we got a number of comments from people around the world, and it's always good to hear from them. In fact, we heard from the husband of Petra Dujardin. Said, my wife is in the goal.
Yep, Patrick. We hear you. Staying up in the wee hours of the morning to watch his wife play. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, happy divorced.
Up.
That is Patrick divorced, who says his wife Petra is playing on goal and playing well on goal, we might add.
Yeah, 3:45 a.m. Good morning.
She's an important reason is Dujardin why the score is 0-0 right now. Korea just unable to really crack that defense of the Netherlands. It's very, very strong. Now here comes the Netherlands with some offense. Down on the right side.
We're seeing that a lot more from the Dutch team today.
We have.
Yep, first half they sat back, held their attackers to only 1 or 2. Now you're seeing them bring more and more on each progressive attack. They keep this up, they might actually be able to register on that board. But something's got to change, Steve Denote, because it's 0-0. And something's going to have to give some way.
You can stretch that rubber band so far, and then eventually it will lose its elasticity and it will break. The question is, how far will this one be stretched?
One thing they got to do is they got to stretch out the field. Both sides are just cramping in those yellow lines.
They are playing up the middle.
They're not playing side to side. Spread them out to the sidelines, and then you're going to force those long passes, those quick transitions.
Netherlands is a step ahead of the ball right now. Daisy van Wiesenbeek helps launch it long. Van Wiesenbeek is experienced. She knows the game. She knows when to move up. She's tough, and she can challenge. All of those things. And a lot of times where she plays, well, she is unheralded. Long pass, left side. Van Wiesenbeek chasing it down. Good effort over there. Kim Min-jin also trying to track it down. 60th minute. This one is 2/3 done. Shot towards the goal. Dujardin is there. That came off the foot of Nam Jong-min. And we've got a player down on the field from the Netherlands. They'll call the trainer in. And I didn't see the contact, so I don't know what caused the player to go down, but see if we can't get a number on it for you.
Maybe we see some magic spray out there.
We're not going to magic spray tonight. We're done with that one. that's Van Wiesenbeek down on the field. You know, you take a look at the scores and how the scoring has gone. Pamela Vasconcelos from Brazil had 4 goals last night against Bahrain, and she had 1 against France. So she's the leading scorer in this tournament. She's got a total of 5 goals. Behind her from Brazil is Daniela Lima. She's got 3 goals. She had 2 last night and 1 against France. And then a couple of goals by Solène Barbons against Germany. In the 3rd game of the tournament, a couple of goals by Zhu Zhan for China against the United States, and a couple of goals for Song So-jin from Korea against Canada. So those are our leading scorers.
Unfortunately, you're not going to see any more from Frances Barbons. Issued a red card, out for the rest of the tournament. That's going to hurt the French team. And that showed in their match against Brazil. She was out the entire second half. Brazil was able to capitalize.
It took them a while. Credit France, though, because they played 10 aside, Steve, and they did a very, very good job of holding Brazil at bay. But once Brazil was able to find the weak spots, they capitalized.
And the thing we're seeing with Brazil is they're not coming out attacking very strong. They're feeling out their opponents, wearing them out a little bit by stretching the field like we talked about. Those long passes, those quick transitions, no one's able to keep up with them, it seems like. So if they keep up that momentum, and they're very quick. If they keep up that momentum, it's going to be very tough for anybody to topple them.
They have set themselves up as the team to beat in this tournament. That's being as candid and as honest as we could be. Long forward kick. Aerial ball. Header controlled that time by Moon Seong-mi of Korea.
We're going to have Dutch ball, Dutch throw-in.
It's going to be Netherlands ball. That comes into Rivka Draya, number 3. Chasing it down to the corner. Song Zhe-jin.
It's going to stay down there.
Excuse me, that was Moon Seong-mi, not Song Zhe-jin. A lot of dribbling, a little bit too much dribbling perhaps deep in the traffic like that, but Korea has found a way to move it out. They clear. Long, long forward pass. 3 defenders back for the Netherlands. And Kwon Ju-young comes away with it. Distributes it forward, so it's going to come over to Jiang Yoon-ju. On goal, out comes Dujardin, and she challenged the attacker and came away with the ball. What a nice job again by Dujardin. I'm telling you, if you had to pick a player so far of this game for the Netherlands, it would be Petra Dujardin. And a tie-up in the middle of the field. Down goes Kim Yeon-ju, and over the top, one of the Netherlands players. I think that was Schoenmaker.
We're seeing a lot of collisions in this match. The trainers are getting more activity.
It's been physical.
Than some of the players.
It has been physical, Steve. And then everybody's gathered around. You got the Koreans gathered around their players. Netherlands team moves back. That gives the trainers plenty of room to work. We need to double check that number if we can of the players that are on the turf. Speaking of the turf, this is a newly constructed stadium here at Stout Field. Synthetic surface. Tough to grow grass in this part of Texas. And up comes the Korean player, while the player from the Netherlands is still on the ground. Korean player is number 20, Kim Yeon-ju, who steps over to assist number 8, Sanne Schoenmaker. So Schoenmaker is holding her back. Can't really tell what the injury might be. Of course, as I stated earlier, she is a doctor. So you might just, if you get a chance, you can ask her, what's the injury?
Self-diagnosis out there.
Self-diagnosis.
It was always my biggest problem as an athletic trainer.
Self-diagnosis.
You're injured. You know what's going on. People telling you need to see a doctor. You're like, I know what's wrong with me. I don't need to see a doctor. Doctor's going to tell me what I already know. I need someone to treat me. So I need to find another athletic trainer.
You sound like a good friend of mine who happens to be a doctor who has a couple of situations that he's dealing with. And we'll go into the doctor's office and say, let me tell you what the problem is. And the doctor sometimes could say, well, if you already know what the problem is, what are you doing in my office?
Yeah. Well, in the doctor's case, they just can't write their own prescriptions.
There you go. That's a big portion of it.
That's why I'm seeing you, Doc.
Kwangju Young gets it down deep. Going after it, Dali Fort. Fort goes down, but the Netherlands controlling it nicely. Korea has 2 games under their belt. They have 2 wins. They have 6 points. And so if this score stands, Steve, each team would pick up a point. The Netherlands would pick up a point, and that would give the Netherlands 2 points in Group A. And it would give South Korea 7 points in Group A. And would set up the all-important match between South Korea and China. Here comes Korea. They're on the left side. Good cross pass. Had to go through a number of defenders for the Netherlands. Korea keeps it alive. Kwan Ha-nul keeps things moving in the center. Out to the outside to Ba Du-young. Kwan Ha-nul was tripped. And so Korea will have the free kick. Opportunities have abounded tonight for Korea, but they have been unable to capitalize. "19 shots on goal, 14 saves on the night for Dujardin. And it takes a while to get set, but they're getting set.
14 saves, 19 shots, no goals. That's the big number.
That's what I said. If you had to pick a player right now that has really stood out for the Netherlands, it would be Petra Dujardin. She's poised and she's ready. The kick is up, and it is launched way out of Stout Field, 20 feet over the crossbar.
I think it just went in on the roof of Stout Fitness Center,
which is a half a block away.
About 100 meters away.
But again, the wind. Look where the wind's blowing. The ball got up, and once it got up, it just kind of carried.
I'm saying, look where it's blowing. It keeps changing. It goes from east to west, west to east.
Yeah, so if you don't like the way the wind's blowing, stick around. It's going to change.
There you go.
Netherlands trying to come back down on Korea's side. Kwan Ha-Nul kicks it away. Here comes the Netherlands. They're going to set it up again.
The wind was a factor the first couple nights of play. The one night we had the wind so heavy that we actually had to have the cable company come back out the next day and reposition our internet dish just for this live stream because we weren't getting anything. We were losing the broadcast on multiple occasions.
We have been hampered by heat, been hampered by wind on the broadcast, but this is day number 7 in 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship, and a shot straight away, and Dujardin jumps up and makes the save. Nice job again by Petra Dujardin. But as I said, we've been hampered by the heat, we've been hampered by the wind, but here in day number 7, we like to think that we've gotten this broadcast, well, somewhat stabilized until the heat pops up again and the next gust of wind comes around. So that's the way you approach that. But as long as we have it up wherever you are, we are glad that you are with us. Midfield, throw in by Korea.
Yep, coming up on 4 a.m. in Holland, almost 11 a.m. in Seoul.
Korea, left side. Nice leading pass. Han Aryun down on the left side. She'll come across. Cross pass on the center, but it's just a little bit too much.
A little too far.
Song Se-jin was over there, but the pass just went beyond her and went by her. So a little bit too much effort, perhaps. You look at the corner flag at the west end, Steve, and it will bend down and be at an angle of about 40 degrees. The pole will be bent down to about 45 degrees to the ground. It shows you what the wind is doing. And at the 72nd minute mark, it's going to be a water timeout. So both teams are going to head to the sideline for water and try to get just a little bit hydrated. You get a nice view of the surrounding area, the Franklin Mountain Range, and then the sun as it sets gently behind the mountain. Beautiful sunset. You see the rays, the lavender sky, and the flag blowing briskly in the breeze. I mean, it's one of those deals that, well, that flag is just about whipping around that, not around the flagpole, but whipping as it's extended out from the flagpole. And so you get a good shot at, well, a good feel, I should say, for the way the breeze is blowing here at Stout Field. Briskly, and that kind of puts it mildly. So if you get a good look at the sunset, I will see if we can't get that possibly as they head back out on the field in the 73rd minute. There's a nice look at the sunset, perhaps, at least on one of our monitors up here. But we're back out on the field once again, ready to get started after this water break.
It winds at 14 kilometers per hour, 9 miles per hour.
It's more than that, Steve.
I know that. That's what Weather Channel's saying, but well, they're not here.
They're not here. Weather Channel doesn't know. I mean,
we need.
Let me put it like this.
We need to find the guy for the little spinny thing.
Just because you hear it on TV or read it on the internet, it does not necessarily mean that's the way it is. Yeah, bottom line, you ready for this? You ready for this?
Unless it's PBS Kids.
I have shoveled a lot of partly cloudy from my driveway, okay? I thought you might like that. Long shot down towards the goal. Nice turnaround that time. Well done by Jeong Yoon-ju. She sets things in motion for Korea. They'll come up the right side. Song Se-jin with the ball. She'll dribble over to the center. Plenty of room to pass. She'll do so to the left side, over to Kwanha Newell. Newell back out to Bandu Young. Bandu Young, left side, tripped once. And that one hurt. She's going to have to dance that one off a little bit.
Now, the wind here in El Paso can be very unpredictable, come out of nowhere. Back in 1999 when we were here, stationed here, we were driving through a nice windstorm, red dust everywhere. When we parked our car, we come out and a big tumbleweed on the car. First time I ever saw a tumbleweed.
I would think that
I kept it as a souvenir.
This would be tough to fly in. Down in the center. Trap ball that time by the Netherlands. But a trip as she was pushed down to the ground, and it goes over to the Netherlands. Well done. I would think it'd just be tough to fly in and around this area, and particularly in rotary wing aircraft.
Yeah, we were in a helicopter yesterday, and we went around the other side of the mountain on the west side of the mountains here, and we felt the wind.
You could feel the wind.
At one point, we dropped a little bit and then came back up.
What kind of aircraft were you in?
We were in the Black Hawk.
UH-60.
Yep.
Which is the workhorse
Phenomenal
of
team.
the Army.
Yep. Phenomenal pilots, crew all around.
Back where I'm from at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where we have quite a few of those, as well as the Chinooks and the Apaches, but we refer to them as Treetop Airlines. Which, when you're in one, as I have been in the past, and you're looking up at the top of the trees, and they're going by quickly,
yeah.
Your heart starts to beat.
Yeah. Good way to prune the trees.
Yep. .76 minute of play. Ball out on the far side of the field. Netherlands have kept it really around midfield through most of the second half. Most of the first half, they were really back on defense as Korea threatened, launched a lot of shots, but Petra Dujardin and the Netherlands defense denied every single one of them. That's why it's 0-0 right now. Left side, Jeong Yeonju. She'll try to push it up to Song Zijin. Korea moving it back. They're going to try to set it up now. Giving chase. That's Rivka Draya. She does a good job. Draya in a foot race right now. Guam back in the goal. The shot on the goal. And it's just off
on the
left side. Rivka Draya got the breakaway. It was good. She launched the left-footed shot, and it hit just to the side of the goal. Otherwise, it would have been 1-0 Netherlands.
And from this viewpoint, it looked like it went in just for a moment. You can see where it just stuck there, and boy, the Dutch team, they're looking for their first goal.
They are.
Of this
and
tournament.
They've got to feel if they've done that once, they can do that again. And that is the only time they've done that all game.
They've allowed only one goal.
If you're Korea, you got to feel like you got out of that one very, very fortunate.
Wiping the sweat off the head, because if you look on the east side of the field, Chinese team just arrived. They are planning on warming up here shortly, but they're watching Korea. You know they're going to start planning.
In 2 days, it's going to be Korea and China on this very pitch here, Stout Field in Fort Bliss, Texas. Up on the ball, it's a low kick.
Didn't get any air under it.
That was a shot that time by Jessica Cow. Cross pass towards the center, but Netherlands quick to turn it around.
Now that the ball's down in the Dutch side of the field, you'll be able to start seeing the team start warming up. China is out there, and Canada is just arriving as well.
That match coming up at the top of the hour. 9 o'clock here in Mountain Time.
Yeah, just a little over 10 minutes left in this match.
In regulation time. But there will be some stoppage time added to the clock.
No overtime in group phase.
No need to. You win the game, and you will pick up 3 group points. Of course, if you lose, no group points. And if you come away with a draw, here we go. Right side, Korea, you're going to pick up 1 point. They have an opportunity. And looking for a teammate back down towards the center, off the foot that time. of Song Sejin, and it goes out of bounds on the far side. Korea looked pretty strong in their last outing. They really did.
They controlled the match the majority of the first half of this. But here, Netherlands have stepped it up.
Here they come. Here comes Korea in the center right now. And it goes back the other way. Nice defensive effort by the Netherlands. 21 shots on goal by Korea, no goals. 16 saves on the night, however, by Petra Dujardin. That's been the story of this game. Credit the defense, if you will, of the Netherlands. They have literally kept Korea out of the goal. But we're in the 80th minute right now, so 10 more minutes of regulation time. And then probably 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time. And neither one of these teams are done. That's pretty much how we can put that one. Kwon Ju-young. Quickly. Drog kicks it up and it's hung in the wind. I mean, it just goes half the distance that she normally can put it. Left side that time by Ban Du-young, and it goes out. Korea maintains possession. Just got to love that sky as I look over those mountain ranges. Just beautiful. And it sets the scene, so to speak, here at Fort Bliss, Texas. Netherlands, they did it before. Let's see if they can't do it again. Selena de Kock gets it out on the right side, but just a little bit too ambitious. She leads Dolly Vort a little bit too much. Ball goes out of bounds. Korea will inbound.
Work seemed a little flat-footed on that.
Substitution, 10 out.
And we got a substitution here. We'll get you some numbers.
For the Netherlands, out of the contest goes Dolly Vort. And into the game for the Netherlands, that's going to be number 21, Blanca Siemen. That will be the last substitution for the Netherlands. Zraya, Cow, and Zeman, the three substitutes for the Netherlands in this game. Netherlands with 4 back on defense right now. In the middle, just Cow. Korea wants to see what they can do one more time. They're going to try to work their right side. Jeong Yu-ju. Dribbling over the center, Song Sejin. Nice play, a little workaround all the way to the right side. A lot of dribbling right now. That is Nam Jong-min. The shot all the way to the left side, and it's going to go out of play. They get there, they cannot get in. And Steve, the wind is really kind of playing havoc with some of their shot opportunities. Good lead pass that time by the Netherlands. Out of goal comes Kwon Ji-young, and she will get it back down. Pass over to the right side. Jeong Yoon-ju. Good lead pass. The Netherlands recovers. They recover nicely. And Dujardin comes out. Puts a strong left foot behind it. And she is booting it into the wind and doing a great job. Netherlands takes over. Korea's side of the field. Far corner. The race is on. Nobody's there for support. Possible opportunity shot towards the goal and deflected nicely by Kwon Ju-young. Getting down there came Blanco Zeman, but she was a little bit behind the play, so the shot opportunity, they couldn't wait. came off the foot, and Kwon Ju-young did a nice job on the save. So it's going to be a corner kick now for the Netherlands. A lot of comments coming in from Korea. Unfortunately, we're unable to translate up here in the press box. And header once, header twice, header 3 times, it comes out. Good job of clearing by Korea. Nice hustle that time by number 17, Leona Trump. But also
a lot more
good
shots
play.
on goal.
Good play by Kwon. Knocked out of bounds. Netherlands. Throw in Korea. Coming up on the 86th minute. Push from behind, but good effort that time by the Netherlands. It's going to roll all the way to the far corner. Kwon's going to chase it down. She'll bring it back to the goal area. And she'll take it out herself. She launches it beyond the midline. Wind turns it to the left side. You can see that ball bend in the wind. Right side. Kim Min-jin boots it back to the left. Korea past one to the right side. Taken away by Anna-Majin Velt. Korea still in possession. Pressured now by the Netherlands. 4 defenders back. Looks like 5. And Dujardin comes out of the goal. Netherlands has a swarming defense. Lack of better description, Steve. Far left side by Korea. Cross kick off the foot of number 30, Nam Jong-min. And she was a little bit too far forward. Boots it out of bounds. And they just shake their heads, does Korea, because they realize they've got opportunities. But they're not making the best of them. Long pass, left side, turned back to the center by Korea. Held up by the wind on the aerial ball. Pushed out of the way that time was number 23, Wang Ji-seong. So it goes out of bounds. Be Korea's ball. They will throw it in. They will set up the troops, set up the offense. Clock reads 88th minute. Korea with the free kick. And back it goes to Kwon. Back out again on the left side. Korea keeps it in play. They'll run it down the line, center it, push from behind. There's your penalty. Korea will take it. And they'll keep it in the center. All the way bends out to the right side. That's Jeong Yoon-ju. Leading pass, that time off the foot, left side by Kim Min-jin. They're going to try to set it up again from the left side. All the way over there. And good pressure now by the Netherlands. Trip on the play. And Korea can't believe that it's called against them. That's the most demonstrative that I have seen out of any one of those players. 89th minute. There's a yellow card. There's a yellow card. And I said it's the most demonstrative that I've seen. 2 yellow cards on the play. Or 1 yellow card. That went against for Korea. Oh, it was against Holland. 24 against Holland. My bad. That is Nikki Vike. Nikki Vike. Third yellow card of the night against Holland. Korea setting up. There's a shot on goal, and it sails just over the crossbar. Wow. And official time is now done. We're into stoppage time. 5 minutes of stoppage time. 5 minutes of stoppage time. That's the signal on the far side of the field. Korea's got 5 minutes. Netherlands, 5 minutes. Long leading pass. Kwon Ju-young back down to the other end. The goalkeeper will get it back down the field for Korea. Moon Seong-mi will chase it down in the corner. But the Netherlands gets there first. They'll cross. And Korea controls. Back out to the center, Kim Young-ju. She's going to the right side. Nice leading pass that time. This could be a good possibility for Korea. The shot, no. The dribble, the shot, and it's going to go left. And down to the ground. Down to the ground in desperation. Realizing she had a bona fide opportunity that time. I think was Song Jae-jin.
You're seeing some frustration there with the Koreans looking for that opportunity. The Dutch defense, they just will not yield another goal.
She had that shot, though, Steve. I mean, that was hers all the way. You take a look at that sunset as that moon's trying to come up. Sun's going down back behind the Franklin Mountains. And I'm sorry, folks, but you have really got now the purple haze. And that's just the way it is.
I got that.
I can't call it any other way, Steve. Can't call it any other way. It's a beautiful, beautiful sky. Back towards the center. Nice job coming out that time. Kwon Ju-young, the goalkeeper.
I'd be more than happy to sing for you, but there's a reason why they put me behind the drums.
I don't know. Executive producer is still playing the air guitar, so I don't know what that's all about. 5 minutes of stoppage time. We now enter. 2 minutes have gone by. We now enter the third minute of stoppage time. Kwon Ha-nul in the center. Good leading pass. Headed back by the Netherlands. Controlled on the right side. Another opportunity sets itself up. The shot, and it's going to go left again. 2 feet to the left side. Off the foot of Song Jae-jin. She's had 2 opportunities in the last 2 minutes, and she's gone wide on each one of them.
Our crowd here is about jumping through the roof.
You've got a great contingent of, a great collection of Korean fans.
Trying to keep the volume up there so we can hear them, but that wind's whipping the flags right above our audio box.
Song Jae-jin has had 2 just marvelous opportunities, but she left it wide twice. Three minutes of stoppage time has gone by. Netherlands trying to control in the center field. Korea will try to turn it around, keeping it in play nicely on the right side. Song Jae-jin. She goes to the center, or to the left side, controlling it over on the left side. Nicely done. Back towards the center. The wind holds it up. A bump near the box, and down went one of the Korean players. But that ball stuck in the wind as a result of, well, the heavy wind gust. Collision out in the center of the field.
Got a yellow card again.
Another yellow card.
This time against Korea.
This one's going against Korea. We'll get that number for you. And I think that might be, well, I can't tell you. I'm going to wait till the number to come up here. Four yellow cards in this game. That ought to tell you a little bit about the toughness down on the pitch.
That's the first one against Korea
in the tournament. Long shot down towards goal. Korea heads it back the other way. About 40 seconds of stoppage time left. Netherlands playing for all they're worth right now. They would be heartbroken to give up a goal at this time in the game. Desjardins gets it way down the field. How she does that into the wind, I can't tell you, but she really does a great job. Good drop kick by Guan Zhuyong. Trapped in the center of the field, and there is the game. As time expires, the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea have played to a draw. It's the Netherlands 0, Korea 0. As this game comes to an end and you are looking down on the field at the Netherlands players, they are bent at the knees. Some of them have dropped down to the ground. This has been an exhausting game, a hard-fought game, a tiring game by both teams, and they came away with no score. Netherlands, tremendous defensive effort, particularly on the part of Petra Desjardins with 16 saves, and they came from the 26 shots that were taken by Korea today. Korea continued to pound the ball down low. They set up shot after shot, but they simply couldn't get it in. They were either wide or Desjardins was in the way.
And we saw a lot, kind of a surge from the Netherlands in that second half on shots on goal as well. And just an amazing way for both defenses to stay disciplined. They didn't allow anything, and that's why you're seeing 2 goose eggs on the board. That's going to give each team a tie or a draw.
1 point.
1 point each.
They each pick up a point in the group standings.
That will hurt South Korea's chances if they draw China later on.
If China.
If China happens to win tonight and they draw, then that point differential is going to go towards
that could hurt
China.
Of course, what they'd have to do is come back out and knock China off the perch.
Yep.
That's in 2 days.
Canada, they have a strong squad as well. We're going to see what they can do against Canada. Canada has a strong squad. They're going to see what they can do against China.
Well, I'm going to make a point before we go to break. You know, a lot of people sometimes, Steve, will look at a game like this and it'll be 0-0, and they'll say, you know, there's just not enough going on for me. As you see the Korean team coming over to the stands right now, and the Korean crowd showing their appreciation for the women's military team from the Republic of Korea. Touch of class, any way you put that. A lot of people will say, you know, it was 0-0, no score in this game, not enough offense for me. But in all honesty, Steve, to note, I thought we saw a very fine soccer game out there by both teams. The great defensive effort once again by the Netherlands, and then the hard work to just try to score, but just not being able to get that done by Korea. Neither team let up out there tonight, and that's what I really call a good soccer game.
Absolutely. We saw very smart play out there, nothing sloppy. And that's what we want to see out of a football match.
Well, we're not done for tonight because coming up later, Group A action continues with Canada versus China. That kickoff is scheduled for 9 o'clock. That's the top of the hour, Mountain Time here in El Paso, Texas. That's 11 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 p.m. out on the West Coast. And coming up tomorrow in the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship, coverage resumes with Group B action when Bahrain will meet Germany at 10 o'clock on the East Coast. That's 8 o'clock once again here Mountain Time. Remember, check into Armed Forces Sports social media channels like Facebook and Twitter for the latest live stream listings. And as always, visit armedforcesports.com for the latest match schedules. Well, that's going to do it for match number 1 today. You're going to be China versus Canada. We'll be back after this break.